Welcome to Golden Tales and Trails. I'm SJ, a women's fitness and Canicross coach, and I'm joined, as always, by my two golden girls, Sky and Daisy. This episode is brought to you by Tales and Trails Canine Outfitters. We bring you the kit you need for all your adventures with your dog. You'll find the link to our website in the show notes. Hey, welcome to the podcast episode. And if you are watching me over on YouTube, hello. If we haven't met before, hi, I'm SJ. I'm the owner of Tales and Trails. I'm a canine outfitters and a Canicross coach based in Shropshire. And today is a really good episode if you're here to find out about Canicross, what it is, and the gear that you're likely to need. And if you're listening to me over on the podcast, and you can, why don't you pop over onto YouTube, because you might want to watch this video, because I'm going to be going through some of the kit and you might like to see it. So first up, what is Canicross? Canicross is running or hiking with your dog, but your dog is running in front of you, ahead of you, using some particular pieces of kit that help to keep us safe, and that is what I'm going to be going through today. I love Canicross. I have done so many episodes prior to this about the wonders of Canicross and why you should be doing Canicross with your dog. So if you want to know like the benefits of it, scroll back, have a look at my story of how I got started with Canicross with my dog Rosie, and you'll find lots of wonderful stories about rescue dogs and why it's so good and all of those other things. But today's episode really is about like how you get started and what kit you need, because one of the biggest questions that I find people ask me when they're thinking about doing Canicross is, what do I need? How do I get started? And also one of the things that people worry about is the cost of the kit. And I'm going to share some of the tips and tricks that I've got of how you can make it more affordable if you're looking to get started on a budget. Let's start with our dogs, because of course they are the most important part of the team, and we want to make sure that their health, their welfare is taken care of, which is why it's so important to work with a Canicross coach like myself. So if you have a Canicross club near you, I would really highly recommend going to meet them, try their kit bags. And many people like myself have a really big kit bag with lots of different harnesses and lines and things that you can try, so you can figure out what is going to work best for your dog. Now, if you haven't got a Canicross club near you, you could go over to my website, you could book an online taster session with me, and we can talk about Canicross, we can get to know each other and your dog, and then I can give you some expert specialist advice on harnesses and all of the things that we're going to run through together to get you started. So for me, dog welfare is fundamentally the most important part of this process, which is why I want to talk about harnesses first. And this is why having expert advice from somebody like me is going to help you to make sure that what your dog is wearing is the right kit for them. So when it comes to Canicross harnesses, you want to be making sure that you are using a Canicross specific harness. And this looks very different from a regular harness because it is a different shape, it is designed differently, and it's designed to give your dog freedom of movement, and it's designed to give them the opportunity to expand their lungs because they're going to be running fast and breathing heavy, and it's not going to interfere with their airway. It's not restrictive in any way. Unlike some of the harnesses that you might buy in like some of the pet shops, they are often designed sometimes to be like non-pull harnesses. I'm not going to go into that right now, but I do have some opinions on those. But what we want to be doing is making sure that if you're thinking about running with your dog, you are using a Canicross specific harness. Now, there are lots of different shapes and types and brands of Canicross harness. I use one particular brand. I use a brand called Non-Stop. It's a company who created their products and they're based in Norway. And in my opinion, they really are the best on the market. They're probably the ones that you are most likely to see. And I have an online and in-person store where you can purchase these. So let's start with the two harnesses that I stock. The first one is what's called a short harness. So I have here, and for those of you that are listening to me, I'm holding up an orange and black harness. This is called the Rush harness. It's a short harness And it looks a little bit similar to the kind of harness that you might see in a pet shop. And it's designed to sit about halfway down the dog's back. But if you look at the shape of the harness, particularly around the neck, you can see it's got this Y shape. And that's specifically designed to give the dog a lot of freedom when it comes to breathing. It's not going to interfere with their airway. And what we do as Canicross coaches is we fit the size of the harness to your dog. And that's why it's so important to be measuring your dog, or what is ultimately best is actually to try the harnesses on in person. So anyone that comes to me in person to do a taster session, I have a huge kit bag of lots of different harnesses, including different sized rush harnesses, and they can try on the harness and figure out what is going to be the best fit for their dog. Many of the owners in my Canicross club really like the rush harness because you can use this not just for Canicross, but it works really well as more of a general harness as well. Because it's a short harness, it sits halfway down your dog's back. It's also got clips on the side, so it's really easy to get on and off your dog. It just pops over the head, and then you can adjust the straps on the side to make sure that it fits your dog properly. Short harnesses are really good harnesses for dogs, in my opinion, that are not big pullers. Maybe you also don't want to spend lots of money and have two different harnesses. I think the Rush is a really good option because this can be a dual purpose harness. You can use it for Canicross, but you can use it for everyday activities as well. It's a really nice harness in the sense that it's really padded, it's really comfortable, and all of these actually wash incredibly well. They're very high quality, they're independently strength tested. And the great thing about the short harnesses is that they do work for pretty much like all dogs. They're very easy to fit, and a lot of owners find them, because they are slightly less expensive, this is a great way if you're looking to try and save some money. Now, again, if you're not sure about what type of harness you need for your dog, go over to my website, book a taster session, and I can go through this and make this really personalized for you and your dog. So the short harness, the Rush, is a really, really good option. The only downside of the short harness is if you are just using a harness for Canicross, this kind of harness can mean that your dog is mainly sort of focusing their pulling on the front of their body rather than engaging their back legs. And I'm going to show you the best harness, in my opinion, for somebody who is doing Canicross, like 2 to 3 times a week. But if you're Canicrossing maybe like once or twice a week, the short harness is going to be a good fit for you as well. Okay, next up we have a long harness. I have the free motion harness in front of me. This is what we call a long harness, and it is designed to sit across the dog's back. So it sits further down the dog's back, in the sense that it is like a long harness. It sits longer and further down the dog's back. Now this one's a bit different because it doesn't clip up the sides. It's a little bit more fiddly to get over the dog's head. But the main benefit of this one, and this is the kind of harness that you'll see most people Canicrossing, is that it really is a really good high quality Canicross harness. And if you have a dog that pulls, it encourages them to work not only the front of their body, but also to engage the back of their body too. I use the free motion on my dogs. I also canny hike my dogs in the free motion as well. I have trained my golden retriever when she was younger to wear the free motion. It is a little bit more fiddly to get on and off their heads because you have to tuck their legs into some of the straps, but it's still very adjustable and you can get it to fit the dog really nicely and really comfortably. I really rate this harness. I think it's a really, really good choice. It is, of course, slightly more expensive, but if you're thinking about doing Canicross maybe like 3 or 4 times a week, then this is definitely what you want to be going for. So again, this has a Y-shaped front. The dog's head comes through. The straps sit further back, so it gives them the freedom of movement that they need. It also won't interfere with their breathing because it sits lower down on their chest, and the pull that you are getting actually pulls underneath their body rather than on top of their body. And this is the kind of harness, like, you really want to get it fitted properly, because the straps at the end need to be adjusted and to sit on the correct part of your dog's body as well. So again, if you're interested in Canicross, you haven't got anyone near you, book an online taster session with me and I can show you how to do this properly with your dog. Okay, next up is the bungee line, and this is the bit that attaches to your dog, the lead or the leash. Okay, so first of all, when you first look at these do look similar to a leash, but the main difference is that these are really strong and really, really super stretchy. So one end attaches to you on your belt, which I'm going to talk about in a minute, and the other end attaches to the back of either your short or your long harness. Now, if you're watching me on YouTube, you'll be able to see that the clip to the harness is a bit different. It's actually a proper carabiner. And I really like this because it means that this is really strong. And of course, like all of non-stop products are independently strength tested. But it also means, because it is a twist and push carabiner, that is not going to come undone. And often one of the things that I find with people when they first start Canicross is that they feel a little bit unsure about letting go of the lead. And you can really see the quality in these products and you know that you can trust them. And that's why I stock non-stop products. And I love this carabiner. It looks heavy, but it's not. It's incredibly light and it's incredibly safe. Okay, the third piece of kit that I want to talk about is the waist belt. Now, the days when I first started Canicross, we were using one of those leads and used to tie it around your waist and it really, really hurt your back. The waist belt is very different. It looks like a climbing harness and it sits around the narrowest point of your waist. It clips around the narrowest point of your waist, and then you adjust it so that the main back piece, and again, if you're watching me on YouTube, you can see this. There's a pocket on the back of the waist belt that has the logo on it. And what you need to do is to adjust that pocket so that it's sitting above your bottom. So it's not like hanging down your bottom, it's sitting kind of like that point where your glutes, the top of your glutes meet your lower back. And the idea behind this is that when your dog is pulling, the pull is coming from your core, from the center of your body, not your arm, not your back. And that's the strongest part of your body. And I really like that because it really helps improve your posture when you're running, because it makes you lift yourself up, because as runners, we can often like hunch over when we're running, when we're getting tired. But when you're doing Canicross and when you're wearing the correct equipment, it just really works and you feel like a really good team with your dog. That waist belt, the bungee line, the harness, like you're connected to each other. And the great thing about that as well is that you are able to run hands-free. So you're not having to hold a lead. The dog is pulling you safely with this piece of kit. The dog's lead, the bungee lead that I just mentioned, is also attached to a second carabiner which runs on the belt, and that carabiner can move backwards and forwards across the belt, and that one is a really secure carabiner, so you know that your dog's not going anywhere as well. One of my favorite things that I love to see is when people come to me and they have told me that they've been running with their dog and they really enjoy it and they want to give Canicross a try, and they put the waist belt on and they realize how key having the correct kit is and how amazing it feels for them. And that reminds me then to tell them how good it feels for their dog to be wearing the correct harness. Because if they feel good and they feel free and they can run and their body feels comfortable, it's exactly the same thing for their dog. And that is why like having the correct kit for Canicross is so important, because it's comfortable for your dog, it's comfortable for you, and it allows you to work really, really beautifully as a team together. So those are the main 3 pieces of specialist equipment that you need for Canicross. And I really strongly advise, if you can, is go and find somewhere to try them on. Come to me if you can, or book a taster session online with me and we can go through this one-to-one in person and we can figure out what's going to be the right fit for you. Now, the last piece of kit that I want to talk about, because of course, if you're running, you need the gear that you run in. You want something that's comfortable to run in, so high quality like leggings and t-shirts and all of those kind of things, of course. But the other piece of kit that is really important if you are running trails with your dog, particularly in Canicross, because you are running faster and you've got to contend with a dog that is pulling you, and the Canicross season tends to be in the winter when it's wet and muddy, is you are going to need a really good pair of trail shoes. And trail shoes are different from your normal running shoes. Trail shoes are going to be important because they're going to give you better grip on the trails. Now, again, if you're watching me over on YouTube, I've got my running shoes here. And you can see that the bottom of my running shoes, my road running shoes, is really flat. There's really not any grip to them because you don't need that on the road. They're quite tall. They've got a lot of like cushioning in them because you're, pounding that pavement. Now, trail running with your dog is very different because a lot of the time you're likely to be running on quite soft, wet ground, because we don't want to be running on pavements with our dogs because it's not going to do them any good. And we can't put like big, thick foam trainers on our dogs. So when we're running Canicross, we're always running on softer ground because it's less impact for the dog. And I really wouldn't advise like running your dog in a Canicross harness on pavement. Like you're going to like injure them. It's not going to be good for their health. So this is why when you think about what you're going to be putting on your feet, it's actually really important. So if you have a look, if you can see me on YouTube, you can see the difference of this is one of my pairs of trail shoes. I have way too many pairs of trainers. It is an issue. I can't help it. But you can see the bottom of these trail shoes has got what we call like lugs almost. So it's got like a couple of millimeters. I think that's probably about 4 mils of grip on the base of these shoes. These ones do have a bit of cushioning. I also have a pair that I use in really wet conditions that have much thicker lugs on them, and I use those when I know that I'm going to be like literally running through puddles and mud and everything like that. But these ones that I'm showing here, they've still got a bit of cushioning. The tread, that's the word I was looking for, the tread is slightly thinner, but these are really good when the ground's a little bit harder as it is at the moment. Make sure that your shoes can be laced up or securely tightened around your foot. There's lots of different ways that you can lace up trainers as well, and I will do a video about that over on my social media because that can make a real impact into how you're running and how secure your foot is in your shoe as well, and that can be really important. But a good pair of trail shoes is going to be a godsend for Canicross. Now, at the start of this episode, I mentioned some ideas about how you can make this more affordable because, of course, like most hobbies, the equipment costs money. The harness, the bungee lead, and the waist belt, if you're buying brand new, you're investing in quite a lot of money with that. I offer a discount to people who do taster sessions with me. I offer a 20% discount to my club members on the non-stop products that I sell through my website. And again, if you book a taster session with me, either in person or online, you're entitled to that discount, and that can save you quite a lot of money. So that is tip number 1, book a taster session, get the discount from me. Option number 2 is to have a taster session, try on the kit, figure out what it is that you need, and then you can go away and look for second-hand gear. There are plenty of places like Facebook Marketplace, Vinted, for example. There are some Facebook groups that sell second-hand Canicross gear as well. So as long as you know what your dog needs and you know what you're looking for, you can go and find it. Now, I think that when it comes to buying secondhand gear, I think you're okay to buy secondhand harnesses and secondhand waist belts. I personally would not buy a secondhand bungee line because that may have like wearing or things, or like some of the stitching has come off and that kind of thing. You need to be really quite careful what condition that is in. So if you are going to buy something brand new, I would definitely buy your bungee line brand new, and then you could get a secondhand waist belt and a secondhand harness. But again, you need to know what it is that you're looking for, and that's why having a taster session can help you, because I can help you to either physically put it on your dog or to show you the different options online and help you measure your dog so that you know what option is going to be the best fit for you guys. Also, over on my website, I do have some pre-loved harnesses that you can grab. These are short harnesses and they're a really good like introductory harness to Canicross. Those are incredibly affordable. If you go over to my website, I've got a few of those that you can try. The other top tip as well is that you don't need to spend hundreds of pounds on trail shoes. There are some really, really good trail shoes out there for about £40 that you can get. Or again, you could use somewhere like Vinted. As long as you know what size you need, you can find a good pair of shoes perhaps over on Vinted. I really recommend, most of my shoes are Asics or Asics. That's what these are. You can get a really good pair of sort of introductory level trail trainers for about £40. Those of you in the UK, you can go to somewhere like Sports Direct, get a really affordable pair of trail shoes either from Asics or their own range, which I think is Carrymore, and they're really good quality ones and they will definitely get you started. So top tips for making it affordable is to make sure that you have a session so that you know exactly what you're looking for your dog. Have a look over on my website for some of the second-hand items, the pre-loved items that I've got. Have a look on Facebook, have a look on Vinted, and also when it comes to trainers, go to like outlet places, sports stores and that kind of thing to get affordable footwear. Now, of course, if you found that helpful or if you have any other questions, please reach out to me, drop me an email, come and find me on social media. All of my details are in the show notes or under this video. Book yourself a taster session. I really highly recommend that because I can create like a personalized kit advice plan for you and for your dog, and I can kind of talk you through how to get started if you're not local to me. And hopefully that's going to sort of get you started, getting you on your way and get you wearing the correct kit for Canicross, because I cannot recommend enough making sure that the money that you're spending, your hard-earned pounds, is actually being invested on the right kit. And also it's the right kit to fit you and also to fit your dog as well. So I hope you found today's episode helpful. I really enjoyed showing you that. Come and find me on social media. Come and check out the website. Book yourself a taster session. I would love to get to know you and your dog. And yeah, best of luck hitting those trails. Thank you for joining us today on Golden Tails and Trails. If you enjoyed the episode, please share it with someone you know. Until next time, Paw Crew, we'll see you on the trails. This episode is brought to you by Tails and Trails Canine Outfitters. We bring you the kit you need for all your adventures with your dog, and you'll find the link to our website in the show notes.